Hi everyone, hope you're all doing good. Okay, for the first time ever, we are in a seventh round of the Tapology Lucky Bastard game. This is 30th edition of the Lucky Bastard game, of course, and seventh round of it. First ever time we've been in here, so this is first uncharted territory. Because for the last 2 weeks there have been four of you left in it, and for the last 2 weeks, we've been unable to eliminate either of you or any of you at all. So, uh, just to remind ourselves who those four remaining lucky bastards are, they are C. Collins 44, D1, D4, K10, Foghorn Sam, and Uber Industry, the German alliance, still going strong. Okay, yeah, as I mentioned, this is obviously the first time we've ever been to the seventh round. We've been to the sixth round a few times before, but that's where the games have ended. This is uncharted territory. And the first ever card for this first ever seventh round is UFC Fight Night Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. And Dolidze has picked up a bit of form recently, hasn't he? With a 3-fight win streak. His last fight, he avenged his loss from earlier in his career against Marvin Vettori. Um, Usually a very methodological fighter. He's usually goes the distance in his fights. Very tactically sound, but I think he's made his match here though against Anthony Hernandez. On a much better 7-fight win streak himself. He's beat Brandon Allen last time out by unanimous decision, and much more of a submission threat on the ground than I'd say but Delise is. But having said that, I think Delise is strong enough on the ground that he's not really. I can't see Hernandez finishing Delise. I don't think the skill gap is quite that big, but I think that Hernandez should be able to control the action for the most part and get a decision win. So that's my prediction for the main event is the Anthony Hernandez to win by decision after probably a very grappling heavy affair in the fight, if I'm being honest. But you're not here to listen to my predictions, even though that is a consequence of watching these videos. You're here to see if we can finally eliminate anyone. First to learn their fate is C. Collins, 44. Let's see. Um, yeah, first ever person to get a fighter picked for him in the seventh round. So I suppose a bit of history being made here. First ever spin for the seventh round. Let's see who C. Collins 44 gets. Oh, it's right on the line, but he gets Priscilla Cachoeira. Priscilla Cachoeira uh, for C. Collins 44. And I think this is going to be one of the ones where we finally see someone get eliminated because got Rosaline Edwards to win, and she's a fairly heavy favourite. She's not had the most overly impressive UFC run when looking solely at the stats. She's 6-4 in the UFC, but this is one of these fighters where looking at the stats, it doesn't actually do them justice because she's better than her 6-4 UFC record suggests. I'd say better than her 15-6 overall MMA record suggests, but very well rounded. Good, very even split of knockouts, submission, and decision wins. Usually when she loses, though, it's due to being on the wrong end of a decision, but very well rounded and uh, up against Priscilla Cachoeira, who's the obviously C. Collins' pick, and she's the underdog in this one, deservedly so, in my opinion. She's dangerous on the feet. She's got knockout power, but it's I'm just worried about the fact that she's had two different submission loss recently as well. And Rosaline Edwards has proven to be fairly good on the grounds, and I think that's how this fight ends. I think Joseline Edwards wins by second round submission against Priscilla. So I think after 2 weeks we finally see someone get eliminated because C Collins 44 with the underdog. I think in terms of the betting, she's actually plus 315 underdog. So he's definitely going to need a bit of luck if he's going to get through the seventh round. I think the wheel might have finally decided to knock some people out. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, obviously depends what side of the fence you're on. But for those who want a new game to begin as soon as possible, that's a good start for you lot. Right, okay, so we move on to D1, D4, K10 now. Let's see if he gets a bit more luck with the wheel. And he gets Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage for uh, D1, D4, K10. And it's a close fight. It's the first one on the prelims. It's Cody Brundage versus Eric McConico. And Eric McConico lost his UFC debut last time out by knockout, but he's looked like a very solid, well-rounded regional opponent on the regional scene. Whether he's ready to make the step up to UFC, we're not sure yet. It's still a bit early to say, but we'll definitely know more after tomorrow night's fights. Um, Cody Brundage, on the other hand, definitely got more UFC experience, definitely better UFC experience, with 5 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, and 1 no contest. So 12 UFC fights overall. Um, and that's probably the main difference, to be honest, between the two of them is the caliber of opponent that they've been fighting. Brundage is used to the UFC stage, and I don't think the pressure of the occasion is going to get to him at all. And I can see him winning by first round knockout, to be honest, simply because in terms of confidence levels, it's like what's going to go through Eric's mind? He's been to the UFC octagon once before and got knocked out. Brundage has been there many times before, and with his very aggressive fighting style, I think this is a very bad match for McConico. There wasn't much in it in terms of the odds though, so I suppose maybe the bookies know something we don't, but I think Brundage should be a moderate favourite in my opinion, and I suppose that's exactly what D1, D4, K10 would want to hear too, because that gives him a very good shot of getting through as a hypothetical eighth round, if we get that far. Okay, so we have Foghorn Sam next to learn his fates. Let's see who Foghorn Sam's going to be paired with. And he gets Gene Matsumoto. Gene Matsumoto there for Foghorn Sam. Um, I say he's 16 and 1. His only loss came in his last fight against Rob Font, and that's nothing to be ashamed of, given Rob Font's place in the bantamweight rankings. Um, he's up against Miles Johns this time. Definitely an easier opponent than Rob Font, and to be honest, I can see Matsumoto getting back to winning ways in this fight. Because Miles Johns himself is also coming off a loss against Felipe Lima in a unanimous decision. Got more UFC experience to his name, to be fair. 6 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw in 1 no contest rather in the UFC. But also fought in the LFA before that. Whereas Matsumoto still new to the UFC, only 2 and 1 in the UFC. Came through the Contender Series like all these young prospects do, but he's looked very good from what we've seen of him so far on the regional scene and in the UFC and Contender Series. Still only 25 as well, plenty of time to improve in his career. Having said that, Miles Johns isn't too old, and so he's 31. So it's not as if Johns is over the hills by any means, but it's UFC staple versus rising prospects. I'm going with the rising prospects here in Gene Matsumoto for a decision win. Um, so I'd say maybe Cody Brundage has got a slightly better chance, in my opinion, but Gene Matsumoto also with a very good chance of getting through in this one. But as it stands, I can see two people going through, one person going out. So I think we're going to see an eighth round by the looks of this. Let's just see what's in store for Uber Industry, our German alliance, with the power of German friendship, take them through to another historic record-breaking round. We shall see. Let's see what the world's got in store for Uber Industry. And they get Steve Urseg. Steve Urseg there for Uber Industry. Um, yeah, so an interesting one because it looks bad. Another one, like I was saying about Joselyne Edward, looks bad on paper because he's lost his last three. But they've all been against the elite of the bantamweight division. They've been Moreno, Kai Kara France, and Andre Pantoja, of course. They've all been they've all been right at the top end of the flyweight division. Trying his luck in bantamweight, which was a little bit of a surprise move, to be honest. Because I think he's still very competitive at flyweight. Maybe he's not getting close to the title, winning the title anyway. Certainly, he could in title contention if he stayed there, in my opinion. But um, I think the bantamweight belt would be a much harder belt for him to try and chase. Maybe that's not a motivation. Maybe it's just a case of it feel like he's better fighting at a higher weight. Maybe it's the weight cut getting to him. I don't know, but in any case, he's got Ode Osborne for his bantamweight debut. 13-8, bit of a gatekeeper in the UFC bantamweight division, if we're being honest. But he did come up with a very surprise knockout win against Lewis Gurul, 10-0 until that last fight, which I was not expecting that at all, to be honest. That caught me completely off guard, as it did Lewis. Um, so he's got that power to end any fight, and as I say, we can never quite count out someone that's got that uh, one hit finishing power like that. But having said that, he's still very beatable. It's still it's not like he's suddenly gone invincible or anything like that. And Urseg showed he was skilled enough at flyweight that he should have all the tools necessary to win. It's possible he finishes Ode Osborne. If that happens, that's probably going to come on the ground, possibly by submission. Personally, Urseg for me is going to win it by decision because that's how he won a lot of his fights at flyweight. Let's be honest, it was just uh, effective point fighting for the decision, and not boring in any way, but very controlled, effective. He didn't really finish a lot of opponents, but it's it undeniably worked for him, so you can't fault it. And I'd be surprised if this change in weight comes with a change of style. Um, I think that's how Ursic's going to approach this one. So, um, yeah, in other words, I see Uber Industry getting through, along with D1, D4, K10, and Foghorn Sam. I think see Collins 44 is going to have a bit of a hard time, but I can see 3 out of 4 making it through. Anyway, that concludes the draw for the uh, seventh round. Feels unusual to say that, doesn't it? But just to go over those names one more time, just to confirm, it's C. Collins 44 with Priscilla Caquera. I butchered that name and spelling. Apologies for that. D1, D4, K10 with Cody Brundage. Foghorn Sam with Gene Matsumoto, and Uber Industry, our German alliance, with Steve Urseg. So, yeah, as I've just said, my predictions are that D1, D4, K10, Foghorn Sam, and Uber Industry will be going through. Um, C. Collins 44 is going to need a bit of luck. It's this women's MMA, you never know. Stranger things would certainly have happened. I don't think it's likely we're going to see all four of you make it through again for the third week in a row, and that would be absolutely ridiculous if it does happen. But having said that, I do see three out of four of you making it through. So I think it's very likely we're making it to an eighth round. And yeah, so I think the wait for those that have been knocked out will carry on. Anyway, we'll let you um well, I'll let you come to your own opinions, what you think of that. El Guapo, who does the commentary for a lot of the running commentary of the fights, he came out with a lovely line in his summary of his in the last round of no one being eliminated, and however you feel about that is justified, and that is very true. That's a truer words that have never been spoken, El Guapo. Um, yeah, so this is the state of the draw. This is how the it's ended up, and yeah, as Guapo said, however you feel about this is justified. But all this leaves me to say is good luck to everyone in this still in the game. Got any bets on this card? Good luck with those. Of course, good luck to everyone with their picks on Tapology in general, and um. Whether or not we'll see you all in an eighth round or not, we'll wait and see. But in any case, so long for now.